this video we're gonna look how you can just start a Java program. So from everything I'll be describing clearly to you how to download Java from the official website and just log in and create a simple or a basic Java program. And I have to tell you that this is not made for experts, so it's just for the beginners. So if you're just a beginner, this video is the right destination for you. So now let's start by downloading Java. You can see this PC. Instead of this PC, we just don't have the Java installed, so the program files we don't have Java. I tell you how you can check whether your device has Java already pre-installed in it. So first of all, just get into your start button and just search Java. So nothing is here, and otherwise you can just go to cmd command prompt, and in the command prompt just type Java space hyphen version, Java space hyphen version. Now that is not recognized, so that means Java is not installed on a device. So now let's just get to install Java. For that, just launch our browser and search for Oracle Java download. So you just need to download this Java from Oracle only. So that is the official publisher of Java currently. So what I just telling you is, for running a Java program, you just need Java Development Kit or JDK. You don't need JRE or Java Runtime Environment. So just download JDK. This is Java SE Development Kit to Java 18, which is the latest version, and download it for the device which you're using. So I'm just using a Windows computer, so you just need to download it for the Windows. So here it is given as Linux, so you just not need to click at that. Just go to the Windows version for the Java, and you can see x64 compressed archive. So that is it has already detected my environment. That is I'm using a 64-bit device. So that for me it is only giving x64. So if you're using a 32-bit device, it will only give 32-bit. So I can check your device is 64-bit or 32-bit. Okay, I'll be telling you how to check whether your device is 64 or 32-bit before downloading. So just right click on this PC and click on the properties. Here you can see system type. It's 64-bit operating system and x64 based processor. That means you just have to download all the applications which are meant for 64-bit. The 64-bit doesn't mean that it can only run 64-bit, also 32-bit. And I am again telling that this is just made for beginners. Okay, so x64 installer, compressed archive, MSI installer. So I'm preferring the x64 installer. So just click on the link to download. Just wait for it to be downloaded. Yes, now it's downloaded. Now close the web browser, we don't need it anymore. Just go to this PC, go to the download section. So go to open this PC and just click on the downloads, and from there you have to find your downloaded JDK installer. Yeah, that is there. So double click on the JDK, and Java is double make it, and you have to verify it is from verified publisher Oracle and wait for it to run. So now click next. Check whether it is JDK. Yes, next. Okay, now it's installed. Close it, and I can check whether it is installed or not. First of all, just go to this PC, open local disk C, into there go to program files and search for Java. Yes, we have Java. Install JDK is there, bin is there. That is our key for executing any program. Now let's see in the CMD whether it is recognized. Open command prompt and type Java space hyphen version. Yes, we have it detected, Java version 18. That's what we downloaded right now. Yes, it's there. Now let's get into our next part, which is doing our first Java program. So if you're a beginner, I have to tell you that this programming can be done in many environments, not only in Java but in Python and other things as well. But Java is the most simplest among them. So you can do the Java program in BlueJ as well as in Notepad. So for just a beginner, I'm preferring Notepad. So just open the start button and search for Notepad. So if on Notepad, open the Notepad application. So let's start our Java program. So this is an untitled Notepad. So Notepad is not just specifically used for doing Java programming. Notepad can also be used for just typing something else and for storing some data and other things. Many things Notepad can be used, but we are using it for creating a Java program. So first of all, every Java program must have a class. So very first thing that you have to do is create a class. So I'm just creating a class. How to create a class? First, class, CLASS. Type in class space. You can give any name for the class name, but it should follow the rules of the identifiers. The Java programming language has certain rules for the identifiers. So we have class and just give one space. This is important. Class, then one space. Then you have to give a class name which follows the rules of the identifiers. Which are the identifiers should not be a Java keyword. Java keyword are the specialized reserved words that give a special meaning to the Java compiler. So that there are some keywords you can use that like Java, class, static, and other words. So if you're doing something like class name was class space class, this is wrong. You can't type in like that, and it should not begin with a digit. So one apple, one apple, that is not right. So there are some rules for the identifiers. Identifier should not be a Java keyword. It cannot use any other special characters other than underscore, or dollar sign. These two can be used here. Otherwise you can't use this one, this one, and other special characters cannot be used. So just for a beginner, just give a simple name. So we can give my first, that's it. Can give my first program for, but for executing it you have to type in the whole class name. So I'm just giving it as my first, then press enter, go to the next line. And I'm this Java does not need to be having a structure. So like other languages like Python and all the other things need a structure, so Java doesn't need structure. So but for making it look cooler, I'm just giving it a structure. So enter, and then opening it with the open curly bracket. So you have to open the every class or anything in Java with open curly bracket, not with this type of bracket or the square brackets. Somehow square bracket is not coming. So this curly bracket you have to use. Then you have to do the next main thing for any Java program to run is the Java main function. So that's just a main function that you have to by heart. So that is public static void main of means an open bracket main of string. For the string you have to make sure that the s of the string should be capitalized. Other things should be in small letter. As a public static void main of string space args, then square brackets, two square brackets, square brackets, and now closing it with a normal bracket or parenthesis or brace. Now this is the Java main function. You have to make sure that this should be public p small letter, public space static space void space main of. There should be no space in between that place. So main of string, for the string s should be capital, then space args, no space in between this square braces. So string args. Now press enter and open it. So after typing the main function, you have to open another brace. Now inside of this you can just, so the first program we are doing is just to know how to execute it. So for that we're just going to print the statement. The printing statement is SYSTEM. For that s should be capital, dot out dot print ln off. This is not print ln off. Inside of that you can print anything you want. So anything you want means you can enter anything, but the thing is it is given as a string variable, so you have to give it inside of the double quotes. Inside of the double quotes you can write anything. So just some number, something, and anything you can give inside of that. this is right, but you can't give it outside of the statement, then it will be wrong. The compiler will not execute it. For our sake, for our programming purpose, we are just going with hello world. Hello. So we've done hello world, closing it with the double quotes and then closing the bracket, giving this one. This is a colon. So doing this thing is important. So system.out.println of hello world and give a colon, So then just close the main function and close the class. So now this is what I call a proper Java program. Class, first of all, you have to just revise it. Class, then give a class name. Class, then one space, then give a class name that should follow the rules of the identifiers. So just give a simple class name, just give a simple class name. That is, rules of identifiers means it should not begin with a digit, should not be a Java keyword, and it should not contain any special characters there. So I'm giving this is okay, this is a good identifier, there is no violation in the rules, so give it, and then press enter and open it with an open curly bracket. Then start with the Java main function, which is public static void main of string args, and then two open square braces followed by a closed bracket. Then open it with another curly bracket. That means this, first of all, using this curly bracket open this first class. Then after the public static void main, that means after the Java main function, you have to open this Java main function with this particular curly brace. Now you have to do the method invocation statement or the printing statement. Our main aim of this program is to print the statement hello world. For that, we have used printing statement. So for any other programs, you should not be using this statement or should be using any other statement. So we are using this println. So but for any other Java programs, for all the Java programs, you just need these two parts are compulsory. That is this class and the public static void. These parts are important parts, and then this system.out.println for our program we are using it. So hello world. I'm not telling you what this ln means and all that will be discussed further. Now closing the class. This is important. You have to close the main function. This closed bracket is for this open brace, and this closed brace is for this open brace. So you have to close everything that you opened. Remember this, you have to close every bracket you open. Now just we are okay with the program. So now we just have to save it. While you're satisfied with your program, you can save it. So for that, just click on file and click on save and save with the class name.java extension. For my purpose, I don't have a folder created. So we just have to go back to this PC and we have to create a folder. So we don't have any partitions here. That is, we have local disk C and a Google Drive. So we don't have any other partitions. So if you are having other partitions, I recommend you to do it in the partition, create the folder in the other partition. So for us, we don't have a partition, so I'm just going with it with the root of the local disk C. I am creating a folder. So right click, go to new folder and name the folder. So I'm naming it as program. I named it as program, program. Yes, we have named it as program, and now we can exit out of that local disk C. But I am not recommending you to tinkering with this local disk C because it contains all the system files. If something happens, I'm not the one to blame. Now let's save this program. Okay, click on file and click on save. Now we have to browse to the location at the local disk C. So click on this PC, go to local disk C, and in there just find the folder that we just created. There is it, the program. Be careful that I named it as program. That you should. I'm recommending you to not name it as program, because there are other files like program files and all. If you're saving it there, there might be a problem. That is because they are system files. So now instead of the program, file name, this is given as default star.txt. So this is not a txt file, this is a Java file. So I have to name it with class name.java. So first we can just see our class name as my first. So name it as my first, my first dot Java. Java. Make sure about the spelling and everything is right. Exactly, it should be the class name. My first dot Java. Yes. Now we don't have to change this thing. Save as type. We don't have to change it to any other Java extension. My first dot Java. Now save it. Okay. So we can see it's saved. Now let's go to execute the Java program. Okay, so now you have saved this Java program. Let's execute it. For executing, just go to start button and just search for cmd command prompt. Open command prompt, maximize it. So now type in the commands. cd forward slash. Cd means change disk forward slash. So entering, and our drive change directory. So our drive is C drive only. So we are not doing anything. Just C call. We have entered the C drive. Now we have to navigate into the folder where we have created saved our program. So now just see this PC where we have reached in the command prompt that will be shown. Okay, so now we are in C. C means we have opened the local disk C. So now we have to enter into, this is the graphical user interface this side, and this is the command line user interface. You have to know how to cd into a particular folder. That's the basic thing. So just open. So we are in C drive. So now we have to navigate into the program, that particular folder. Inside of the program, we have our program, which is now my first.java. So for that, in here, I have to type in cd space forward slash. Sorry, here you have to type in cd space backward slash program. Okay, now we have entered into the folder program. So that's the thing. So first of all, you have to get cd forward slash, and then your folder, not your folder, your local disk, your the cd forward slash, then enter, then your local disk followed by a colon, not a semicolon, followed by a complete colon, your local disk name followed by a colon. So I just don't have any other partitions here. That is only local disk C and a Google Drive. So I have saved it in the local disk C. So in your case, you might be saying it in your other partition. So you have to give it, if it is F, so F colon G colon likewise. Then you have to do a cd into the program, into the folder. So we have cd into the program. So now the compile, then now we are at this stage. You can see this is the graphical user interface. Now we are inside of local disk C and inside this particular place called folder. Now we have only one thing inside of this folder, which is program, that is my first.java. Now we have to call the Java compiler into this particular folder. For that, we have to type in another command called setpath. Set space path, set path equals. Now I have to get the path to this particular to the Java bin. So now for that, just open your file explorer, go to local disk C and go to program files and navigate to Java. Click on JDK, click on bin, and while you have clicked on bin, you can see this path. You have to copy this complete path and paste it in the command prompt. For that, just click on an empty space in this place. Just click. So now you have all the paths selected. Now just click Control C. I'm not recommending you to right click copy, right click paste. Just click Control and C on your keyboard and minimize this one. And in the command prompt, just press Control V. So it is pasted. And some devices, the Controls V might not work inside of this command prompt. For that case, you just have to right click and then it will be pasted. Now we have pasted the path. Just click enter. Yes, it is successful. So we have called the compiler into that particular folder. So our next step is to compile the program. For compiling the program, you have to type in another command called java c space class name.java. That is the syntax. So type in JAVAC, all small letters, java c space class name.java. So our class name is my first.java is a class name. So my first. So in your case, it might be another class name. So you have to type in your class name. So my first dot .java, then press enter. It will compile the program. What is compilation means? The Java compiler will check for any errors in the program. So press enter. Now it has compiled successfully. So now while it has compiled, you can see in this folder, you can see another folder, another file which is created, that is my first dot class. So that class file is only created after you have compiled the program. So for any Java statement to run, you have to first compile it, then only you can execute it. So now we have successfully compiled with no errors. So it has found any errors in the program. So if you had any errors, then it will show it here. So then if there was any error, you have to debug it. So now we don't have any error. Let's execute our program. For that, just type in Java class name. So Java space class name, that is my first. So in your case, you have to type in your class name, Java space class name, plus enter. While it is executing, the desired output is hello world. That is what I typed in the printing statement. You remember, that is what I typed in the printing statement. So it should give hello world. So let's press enter. And now, yes, it has successfully executed it. You can see hello world. Okay, now let's see what has happened inside of this program. For that, just let me open this. Okay, so after you have saved this program, it will be in my first .java. So we can, when you double click on it, it will show that it can't be opened. .java files can't be opened. For that, just right click, just go with open with, and more apps, click on notepad, and just tick it. Always use this app to open Java files. Now, okay. Now it will open it in notepad. So now let's see what has happened while we pressed this enter. So first of all, when we press this enter, the Java compiler just show this public static void main Java main function. Yes, so now onwards Java compiler was activated. Now the next it entered into this part of the program, this block, and inside of this block you can see the system.out.println of the printing statement. And now the Java compiler had to print this hello world, and now it has printed the hello world, and we have closed the two braces. That's all that's happened while we pressed at the enter key. So now I hope you enter key. Okay, now as we have executed our program successfully, we have to exit from the command prompt. For executing from the command prompt, you just can click the close, but for a programmer you should just give exit and enter. So now it is exited. And I hope all the people who have watched this might have executed one Java program by yourself. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.